We continue with the Ethiopian Coffee Exporters Association, and we'll have a presentation by somebody who just introduced himself, so to speak, already, Gizat Worku, who just had a question. So I will just open the presentation, but you can come up already. 1 second. Please, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. My name is Gizat, Ethiopian Coffee Association General Manager. Somewhere my brother said Ethiopian Coffee Exporters Association. We don't represent only exporters. We represent almost all unions who represent or hold around 1.2 million coffee farmers and the biggest coffee estate owners who hold us throughout growth scheme from around 300,000 coffee farmers. So we're representing around 1.6 or 1.5 million coffee farmers. On top of that, our members are around 659. Out of this, we have 558 active members. Just to introduce and to show myself the importance in the coffee sector. It's not moving. Yeah, thank you. This is my topic, EUDR and Ethiopian coffee sector. As far as EUDR is concerned, it has already said now and then with different people for the last 1 year, not only in this session, even in the past 1 year, we have taken something. So I'm satisfied with the awareness program. Unlike my sister from Gizat said, the awareness program to Ethiopian coffee sector major actors, it's satisfactory. The only thing how we can cascade it downward. So that is the major question which we have to answer and give an answer. It is serious question to me. This deforestation and against the deforestation and afforestation program, it's really golden program. I appreciate European Union by bringing this issue because it is world issue. We need it. We need safe world. So I appreciate for that. But how we handle it, when to perform it, how we go back and imply it, like starting from January 1 to 2020, and all that dates are still, it needs some sort of adjustment. Just let me mention some milestones and deliverables. On the milestones, EUDR, it's already mentioned when it has started, and when practically when it will start, it's already mentioned. Awareness program, it's as I said. Due diligence, to me, it's not that much tough. Any government structure can prepare related to human rights, child labor, whatever issues can be answered, or the one who is going to inspect can give any certificate for that. We cannot do it anything. If my government is violating human rights, it cannot change it by night. So that's not an issue. It's possible to prepare due diligence statement without any problem. The major issue comes on upcoming milestone. When it will be implemented? Just January, and I have said if it's used for small and medium-sized enterprises, that's June 2025. Almost we have 1 year time. Is it possible? To me, I'm against the the time frame which is put to get everything in place. Seems to me very hard. We are dealing with almost small-scale coffee farmers. They don't, if they don't get any benefit, even they might not tell you where they are found, how much they produce. Even they can't interest you. So we are managing them. Deliverables, standard or accepted registration format or software. This is important issue. standard format. We have to have accepted registration format. Some certification institutions have prepared, and through that, some coffee farmers, especially private coffee farmers, are using that. Is that acceptable by you? I don't know. But it could be redundant. That's why even if IT program, software program, how we gonna register, where to take, what kind of information it should comprise of, that if that kind of questions were answered, it could have been easy to reach on June 2025. But I don't think, up to now, we didn't get it. And what I heard now is, on the program of 2024, IT system replacement is part of that. So I think we're late for that. Standard gadget, by what people are measuring, or GIS, geographical location. I talked to some of our members, unions, they told me that they are measuring by application, just using their mobile. Is that accurate? Or what kind of gadget are they using? So before they spend money, we have to tell them, use this gadget, don't use that gadget, or all kinds of information. Deadline of the implementation, as I have said, June 2025 doesn't seem to me enough time to we are not pushing you. You give us to bring such kind of so long as we want to sell it, we have to obey for that. But so long as it's win-win, because we hold world treasure. We have more than 10,000 varieties of coffee. So we should not in any way gamble with that treasure. What I'm afraid is people might uproot and cut all coffee trees and go to this mild drug chat or eucalyptus tree. So even we should understand the repercussion as far as farmers are concerned, not the traders, the middlemen, the processors. All of them can understand, and they will be ready to comply. Current status. This is to provoke what we have done. We are ready to answer. Even when I say we, our members, in any instance, I talked to them, they told me that they're ready to implement this, to comply. One company has finished it's one big coffee farm owned by one company. They told me that they have finished. How on earth, with all 1 year program, only one company finishes? I think we should have at least 20, 30 private coffee farms should have been finished this registration. Partially completed from 0 almost to 60%. I was asking the unions, the commercial farmers, major concerned entities, what they were telling me is, we have already prepared budget, we have consulting our consultant, what kind of format we are using, things like that. The other point is development partners working with unions. I saw ITC, BOPING, Fairtrade Africa, EU delegation. These are working together. They are trying to support them in giving training or supporting in any aspect to satisfy EU regulation. Type of coffee farm operators. Unions, most of it. I was talking with Oromia Union, Sidama Union, Katta Mudaga, Bench Maji. I talked to some of them. They're trying to do their best, but still there is a gap. They need clear direction. Private coffee estates, individual coffee farmers through cooperatives and outgrower schemes. All this need, instead of telling them what is the benefit of EUDR or the damage, no, that's not the way we should tell to the farmers. What we should tell to them is, do this and I will pay you this, or you get this, things like that. Status, registration of farmers, it has gone through it has gone a lot of steps. It's good to me, but still we didn't have some sort of assessment and how much percentage of farmers is registered through unions and outgrowers scheme. We don't know, but we have to assess that. Due communication with regional government offices. It is regional government office, wherever or zonal government offices who supports the farmers to tell information about geolocation or any other related to due diligence. They told me we are preparing budget, recruiting consultant, partially completed. Yeah, that's one. Challenge, gadget. What kind of GIS measuring gadgets all Ethiopian coffee farmers or private sector can use? Can we use, still even here, is there anybody who can answer me? Can I use mobile application to measure the GIS? How much is its accuracy? That is the point. Let European experts tell us, do this, don't do that. Standard formats. Someone asked me, am I supposed to register altitude? I don't know. But that format, not only geographical location, what kind of additional information should be registered on that format or software? Training, usage of that gadget or on the registration, on the software. Financial support, this is an important issue. Financially, even those development partners like Bopink, I2C, Fairtrade, they are supporting financially. Financially means even buying the gadget and giving to the needy is the important issue. So financial and technical support is important. And certifiers like organic, Rainforest Alliance, Cafe Practice, and all other certifications need some sort of format to register. Is it possible to use those formats to this one? The way forward. Extension of the implementation period seems very critical to me. As I talk to, as a supporter of both Ethiopian coffee farmers to exist and the climate change to be more practical and embraced by everyone, I'm supporter of both. So it needs critically some extension for Ethiopian case. As I have said, 5 million coffee farmers reaching there. It's unlike Brazil. It's unlike even Colombia, we have around 500,000 coffee farmers. So it is completely different scenario and situation here in Ethiopia as far as coffee is concerned, because we traditionally produce it, we traditionally consume it, we traditionally sell it. Even we don't calculate the cost, we don't calculate even the quality, it is traditional handling. So getting out of this cognitive and going to the big international market needs support from you guys. So this is open for discussion. Let's discuss and tell as Ethiopians, let's tell them. Thank you very much. Yeah, very soon. I'm finished. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please stay here. Please stay here for. Please stay with me for discussion. Comments, discussion points from the audience. Please, can you go to the microphone, and our online audience will also listen, be able to listen.
Okay, first of all, thank you for the opportunity. It was really an amazing presentation. So my question is, since the EUDR adopted last year, so it means it's already 1 year, right? So what kind of actions has been taken by the Ethiopian Coffee Industry Authority toward this creating an awareness, especially in the area? Because since it is a national issue, I mean, not only towards the forestry and the climate change. I'm talking about the economic regard, because we are exporting about 20 or 30% of our coffee to Europe. So I think direct action has to be put toward this task. So towards creating an awareness, what kind of actions has been implemented as Ethiopian coffee authorities. So in addition to that, are you giving the priority towards the forestry, or is there any activity that has been taken toward this achieving the social rights in the area? Because there might be the violation toward this child labor and also toward this the inaction toward this labor rights in the area. So how much are you sure that there is no the violation of rights in child labors and also the rights of labor in the area? And what kind of awareness creations are you performing towards the small holder farmers to create the awareness both towards the forestry and both towards this achieving the human rights? So it's all about. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Then answer one by one. As far as what ECTA has done or not, as I said, I'm from Ethiopian Coffee Association. I'm not from Ethiopian Coffee and Tea Authority. That is the government office. This is the private sector representative. If you are asking me what you have done, mostly EU has taken this responsibility in creating awareness in different embassies, German embassy, I don't know, Netherlands embassy, EU office. How many times, 4 or 5? Yeah. So it has done a lot. The awareness. What's enough? One time might be enough, 100 times might not be enough. I don't know that. But to me, what I see, the major stakeholders, coffee state owners, private sector, the unions have already informed so many times. Even if you don't inform them, as a businessman, they have to hear what the buyer is telling to them. That's all. But as far as farmers are concerned, I agree with you. Even if you make it for the coming 10 years, you might not get 50% of awareness, what they got. So that's not the issue. The issue is to the seller. He has to tell to his farmers. The unions, I told you, 1.2 million farmers are held by almost 11, 12 unions. They have to know how to tell to their farmers. That's the way. The awareness is related to that way. Decline of, I think I better mention EU market sales is declining. Even it is mentioned in the first, Germany has bought less than 60%. Belgium did the same. Italy, France, the UK, the quantity sales to EU is declining. Oh, UK is not. So, that kind of decline, to me, the most worrisome problem is, before we apply this EUDR regulation, the sales is already declining. What we are going to do? We have to sit down and discuss with them, with ourselves, with the government. We have to discuss it. How on earth Germany is, for the last, I don't know, 20 years, #1 coffee destination for Ethiopia is Germany. At average, it's around 22%. Some 10 years back, it was around 34% of Ethiopian coffee export goes to Germany. Now it is less than 14 or 13%. Even this year, it is declining. What's going on? This is, to me, this is the most critical cost. The same applies to even Japan. As far as coffee is concerned, leave alone to shoulder EUDR, we are already in a very critical condition. We have to solve it. That is our assignment. But EUDR should understand us too, because we have to change that kind of problem. If I have answered, thank you.
Further comments, questions? Please, yes.
Oh, that child labor, that's not the problem. Even deforestation is not to comply the EUDR, there is no problem in Ethiopian side. We don't cut trees and plant coffees. We already complied. The problem is how we can justify that compliance. That is the issue, not the deforestation. Even this child labor, that's not a problem even. Do you think Ethiopian child, 10 years old, 12 years old, harvesting coffee? Have you seen that? No. That's not the issue still. If there is, it could be very minor. It could be corrected. Or it's good warning to if there is someone doing it.
Okay, we have one question in the room, and then afterwards, Bettina would love.
I thank you so much for this chance. I always have just very few questions. But Mr. Gizat, you need to answer this one. In the context of Ethiopia, in the context of Ethiopian exporters. Because I came from one exporter company. I want to talk about this now, as long as my concern, as long as my understanding, Ethiopia is not selling coffee. Ethiopia is giving coffee for the buyers, and the buyers will sell coffee because they are more beneficiaries. True? This is my understanding in general. So the most numbers of Ethiopians, farmers, are the information gap clear. Who gives them information? The trade unions, you said, are the trade unions leaders by themselves clearly know of this mandate, the European Union mandate, the consequence, the technology needed, even the leaders, do they know when? Because we have to think the nation.
I think so. They know.
We have to think the nation, the Ethiopians matter. So if the farmers hurt, the exporters hurt at the same time. We are hurted. So this information gap, technological gap, and win-win game. The win-win game has to be considered. Thank you.
Thank you. I think I have answered. Most of it's our homework done.
Okay, then one more. Sorry, Bettina Rotlaub, we have one more here in the room, and then afterwards you. Please, can you? Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Abiyut Desta. I come from the Institute of Foreign Affairs of Ethiopia, IFA, representing an institution that has engaged in research and training of diplomacy. And I should raise questions in relation to Ethiopian foreign policy and the diplomacy and the coffee market, and how the institution could support Ethiopian coffee exporters while implementing EUDR. Yeah, the other important question, please record this as one question. The other question I should have raised, I'm sorry, I should not raise it because this question has been important to me, but should have been raised to the European presenter, and therefore I have to leave it. I think I have made my point. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, actually, we are doing it. We are doing our best to promote Ethiopian coffee at international market. When the government or the private sector working on the export business, that's economic diplomacy. We talk with the embassies, how they are going to support us on the buyer side, on the seller side, everything we are doing it that. On that aspect, the only thing what I can say is not adequate. Thank you.
Thank you. We have one more question, and that's the final question. Bettina Rudloff, please.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I'm just curious because I observed that, of course, EUDR is at the center. That's explicitly, sorry, and directly linked to coffee. But we have this parallel thing of EUCS-DDD, and you hardly mention that. So my question is that a debate in Ethiopia? Does that play a role? Because these EUCS-DDD rules, they are not on forests, but they are on human rights and labor rights, and quite detailed, as I showed, huh? And that will impose other duties again, and that is relevant for each and any sector, including coffee. So is that already, does that has reached the awareness, and is that a debate or not? And the second question is, because you mentioned existing certificates, do you have any evidence whether fulfilling these new duties is easier for producers already being certified by, for instance, fair trade, or by standards from the Rainforest Alliance, so they are already used in documentation and so on. Could you say something about that, whether that is easing, let's say, fulfilling the new due diligence approaches? Thank you.
Thank you very much. The unions, who I talk to them, they are really well aware of, and they know what to do. But from EU side, there is no checklist what kind of software they are going to use, what kind of format. Even they can make it by hand, because they can write it in paper instead of using software. So they didn't get that. But still, from their worry, they are using certifiers format to bring that this is traceable. This coffee came from this geographical location. As far as due diligence is concerned, to me, it's not that much serious. Even if necessary, we can discuss, and we can say something about that. No problem. My issue is on the EUDR, especially on the geographical location. That is the issue. So awareness it's enough, I think. But as you said, we didn't make any assessment. We have to make professional assessment to say this amount of percentage of the population, the producers know it well, or vice versa. So we have to make an assessment, and this can be an assignment to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very interesting. Thank you very much for this excellent presentation and asking and answering all the questions. What is clear at the end, so to speak, there's a lot to do for all sides being involved. As I said initially, we are not going to take, we the organizers are not going to take position on these issues, but it is clear that a lot of things have to be done on both sides, as I said. And that is, I think, very important insight. If I just recollect the last question and answer, for example, there's a lot we need to do. Thank you so much. Marta, please come with me, and we both like to thank you. The online audience, we had way more than 30 people online, which is good, I would say, for a very focused topic, even though it's of course of broad interest. But this is good, and we had about 40 people here in the room, so whatever, 60, 70, 80 people attended throughout the afternoon, and I'm very happy on that. I'd like to thank our presenters. Bettina Rudloff is with us, and others also. Thank you very much. Marta.
Thank you very much, everyone, for taking the time to come from different parts of the city, join us here in person. Then those of you online, joining from different parts of the world again, thank you very much for the patience and so on. For those of you who are here, we have a small reception where we can network for some time, like outside. Unfortunately, I cannot proceed to those who are in online, but anyways, thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.